Welcome to the Finding Hope Show. I'm your host, Alyssa Massey, and I am thrilled that you've joined me because my goal is to inspire you to be happy and hopeful in your everyday lives. In this show, you can expect to gain hope and encouragement through some of life's most pressing issues regarding health, business, relationships, faith, and much more. Let's face it, the world is not getting any better, but we do. Join me once a week to discover your highest potential as we learn to put God first in everything and find hope in a turbulent world. Welcome to the Finding Hope Show. Last week, I spoke on depression and how to cope. In the midst of our stress and anxiety, in the midst of our chaotic days, we become interested in how to cope. Why? Because we don't want to feel mad, angry, or depressed. And if you do want to be angry, I'm here to tell you there is another way, a more peaceful way, if you will. Have you ever felt the peace of God? Because personally, I have felt so bad before that I wanted to die. And then on the other side of the spectrum, I felt the peace of God. And the peace of God keeps me from going back to that old lifestyle. If you know God but haven't felt peace, this means other things are preventing you from feeling it. The peace and love are there, friends. That's what God is made of. If we don't feel peace, we're not allowing God to work. As I previously mentioned on my last podcast, major depressive disorder affects approximately 17.3 million American adults. Friends, I do believe we have a problem, and I do believe there is hope. There is hope in Jesus Christ. So what is peace? Peace is a state of tranquility or quiet, such as freedom from disquieting or oppressive thoughts or emotions, and harmony in personal relations. So I have to ask you, do you have this peace? Are you free from disquieting or oppressive thoughts or emotions? Is your life quiet? Do you have harmony in personal relations? If we never go through any rough spot in our lives, we would never come to appreciate when life is good. Let's work together at achieving peace because now is the time. You've been through the hard times, or you are currently going through them. But friends, as Jesus says in John 10:10, He has come to give us life and live it to the full. And living it to the full includes having peace. So trust God is using your pain for something greater. The problem is when we are not peaceful, we are trusting in the world. But we are not meant to understand the world and have all the answers. We're meant to trust God with all the answers. And as we do this, we achieve peace. One way I can tell if I'm getting stronger in faith is when I don't get as upset about things as I used to. I remember getting so angry inside at just the smallest thing. That was the world getting to me. But now, if I start to have that feeling rising up within me, I know better now to seek God, to seek Him in prayer and ask for His help. This is the inner peace I speak of, and my prayer for you is that you will have this inner peace. But it's progress, friends, not perfection. The things that weigh us down are not just thrown off overnight. As we grow closer to God, the outer shell, piece by piece, is taken off until one day we discover our true peaceful selves. We are at peace with God in the world, and we are at peace with ourselves. Complete peace will only be achieved when we die and go to heaven, because it is here that we are made perfect in Christ. But on the way there, we grow in our faith walk. We get more and more nuggets of peace as we go stronger and stronger in faith. Joyce Meyer says, peace equals power. Where there is no peace, there is no power. The only one with the power to give you peace is the God of the universe who created you, not political figures, not your boss. because we know that they can all fail us. But God will never fail us because even when you don't see it, He has our best interest in mind. In Matthew 22:29, Jesus replied, "Your mistake is that you don't know the scriptures and you don't know the power of God." Peace is power, friends. If you are not there yet, seek God earnestly, but we must put in the effort because trust me, I've been without peace and I never want to go there again. There is another way. Once you experience this peace of God that I speak of, even the peace in turbulent times, you will never want to go back. Some ways that you can start achieving peace in your life are as follows. First and foremost, accept Christ into your life. Jesus came so that we could be free from the bondage that holds us back, free of sin, but we have to accept Him. And being free of sin doesn't mean that we won't have to deal with the consequences of our sin, but we now have the strength to move on and grow from them. When we accept Christ, you will have the fruit of the Spirit. What is the fruit of the Spirit? Love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These are things that may not be achieved immediately, and it's sometimes a lifelong process, but they are ours for the taking. We don't have to choose bad things. We don't have to choose the rough spots. We choose life, and we find that life in Jesus Christ. So first off, friends, I want you to get rid of the negativity. Now, you can't avoid some people or things like traffic or the moms or dads at your kid's baseball game that you don't quite get along with. Some things you're just going to have to ignore. But on a regular basis, if you are surrounded by negative people, before long, this will start to affect you. Proverbs 22:24-25 says, "Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn their ways and get yourself ensnared." Number 2, put God first. Jesus said in Matthew 6:33 to put Him first, and all these things will be given to you. All these things is not just money or material items, but the peace of God, the love, the things that truly matter, the things that last. Putting God first gives us peace to withstand life, both good and bad. We should all take Paul's example in the Bible. Paul put God first. Even after being a murderer, he redeemed himself. Rather, God redeemed him. But Paul got on his hands and knees, and he was changed. And he knew the benefits of following God. And he went on to have peace, even locked up. For us nowadays, that seems unimaginable. I mean, who could have peace locked up in prison? Well, you and I can. With God, all things are possible. In Philippians 4:11-12, Paul says, "I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want." Now that's a testimony. Number 3, trust God. I once heard Joyce Meyer say, "Trust God and do good." And again, in Philippians 4-7, Paul says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." If we're constantly worrying, then we're not trusting. I would say, pray, trust God, and do good. Isaiah 26:3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." I don't know about you, but I would love a steadfast mind, especially in today's world. Number 4, obey God. My conscience is what used to keep me up at night. I felt horrible for the things that I was doing because I knew otherwise. When we obey God, our sin has no power to hold us back. Sure, Jesus wipes away our sin when we are saved, but this does not mean we are always free from the consequences of sin. When we obey God, we have the favor of God, and this is peaceful. Number 5, serve others. Pursue peace. We must work at it. The things of this world that we work at may give us short-term satisfaction, but when we pursue the things of God, the effects last forever. Remember, God is transforming you and I into the people that He has destined us to be. So we're shedding off all the bad stuff. We're growing in faith. We're pursuing peace, and we're growing closer to God until finally one day we will be at perfection, but it won't be in this lifetime. But we are well on our way. Refreshment is peaceful. Proverbs 11:25 says, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." Serve others and pursue peace. God's peace in my life is what keeps me going in confident hope of tomorrow. It fires me up. I crave it. I no longer crave those things that are temporary fixes. I no longer crave drugs or alcohol or stale cigarettes. I crave the peace of God that transcends all understanding, and it feels so good. And that is how I can tell that I've made progress. I used to worry about being with the cool crowd. What is the cool crowd now anyway? Who knows, right? Now is your chance to listen. Now is your chance to seek God and find a fix for things that will truly last. Thank you for being here for this episode. Every now and then, I'm bringing to the table a bonus episode, raw and uncut. There is no fancy music, just you and me and real life issues we deal with every day. That being said, next on the agenda, I'm going to talk about rooting for the underdog. Nobody likes to feel left out. Instead of looking down on each other, my hope is that we can all learn to especially love the underdogs. God uniquely made all of us. We are all special people with a mighty purpose. Let's help each other arrive at our destinations. That's it. I hope you have a blessed week and get your hopes up because the best is yet to come. If you would like to receive all my latest news and updates, please go to alysamassey.com and kindly enter in your email. And don't forget to hit subscribe to this podcast.